Okay, I'm installing a diesel pump heater, Chinese heater. I've had a few issues trying to install it, as there's no instructions whatsoever. I've looked online, and most of the inline videos that the supplier sent to me was having the fuel line inside with the fuel pump inside the camper, which is noisy, and I don't recommend, especially when you've got a 7-month-old baby. Now, I drilled this hole yesterday because your fuel line, which is here, comes out the bottom, which will come out the bottom of the vehicle. My idea was, you've got a big sill underneath in between the plate here, was to put the sill against here, against the base, get a sill and use the bracket underneath. That was my plan. And what I've now realised since making this stupid hole to make the fuel come back in, which I'd rather go back out, I was going to run it straight through into the garage because we do motocross, we've got a garage there. I've now realised that, and even the supplier doesn't understand this, is you have a little hole here and lie in her hole. So therefore you can get your fitting, go through the hole of your exhaust, or intake shall I say, and slide your eye there. Now you can move it up and down and it's not touching nothing. So now you can put your fuel pump and keep all your fuel and supply outside, and rather run it to your main tank or all the way into your garage, and put your little fuel tank per separate diesel tank in the back, depending on what way you want to run it. Now, drilling these holes, I've drilled the holes to fit and didn't take into consideration of the clips. So now what I've done, I've actually made holes of it, as you can see. They all fit perfectly. There's holes for the bolts where the bolts wouldn't reach all the way through. Another silly thing I've done. So now I've had to go this way, put it onto the plate, and then I'm going to secure the plate to the base of the vehicle. Now, because of the clips, and then the nuts as well, because they obviously won't go, I can't attach to the bottom like I wished, because every hole was perfect, I've now made a bigger hole. These holes are, obviously the Jubilee clips ain't going to go as far as this. I've got to tidy this up, it's a mess. So, basically, take in consideration, you've got your Jubilee clips. If you are going the way I was going to do it, obviously it's way too thick, the thickness of the insulation in the bottom of the vehicle. I couldn't do it the way I wanted to. No instructions. This is not my trade. I'm a commercial diver, so anything subsea I can do. So it's been a bit of a mess around, but as I say, this is the main thing. This plate, remember this line, this circle, this is, I believe personally, for your fuel pump connection to install outside without making loads of holes like this. So now once I install this, this will be sealed perfectly, properly. Right, okay. I've made an hole right in the corner here because I want to have it on a bit of a slant. These thick areas, I didn't bother with it. I'm just going to go straight through there. Now, getting this bit on the inside, I'm going to show you a little technique. Right. This would be best with a piece of wire, but I haven't got no wire, so I'm going to use string. It'll be a lot more difficult, but it's a good way. Make sure you get the washer on, push through. Now, so you don't get a knot in your string, just do a figure of 8, which will be, go round like this. It's just big enough for this bit of string. You want it something that will pull the thread through the hole without, and then you can release the string. So now I'm going to put a little towel on it, like this. Okay, so I've grabbed the string with a pair of herb tweezers. I'm just going to pull it through now. Drop that in there first. So this nut is just hanging on, so I'm not too sure. We're going to be lucky enough to get it through. There we go. Then we've got it through. Pop, and there we go. There's our thread. Okay guys, this is the heater all fitted. After as I showed you, I cut out the holes, I've fixed them up a little bit better and made them a bit more tidy. I've got some temperature sealant which I run around the outside of the holes, nice and thick. Squashed it down because I tested it, and these heaters, when they start up, they chuck out a hell of a lot of smoke. so please be aware of this. It ain't the heater explode or anything, but the smoke came through and I thought it was catching on fire. As I'm just testing it, don't get me wrong, I was only testing it, don't worry, there's no kids here, it was all ventilated, the doors are open, so that's that. So anyway, it's been sealed, it's all fitted, it's been tested, it works very well. Now it's in there, this is the old battery, where the little tiny battery, which is, I use this as a backup battery now, well, even though I've got so many batteries. I've run the wire to the panel along the back here, which that's been run like that for a long time. It's just it's fitted there with sticky stuff. I've cable tied that to them cables through the back. Underneath my water heater, it's got an old Cascade water heater like the old caravans. When I bought the van, there was no hot water, it was bypassed. I had to do a repair on that. Run it through. There's a little hot hole behind here where I've got my plates and that into here. All tucked out of the way, nice and neat. It is pretty good. I'm happy with it anyway, so that's all that matters. Anyway, so yeah, there's the crocodile clips. These crocodile clips is because, like I say, whoever installed this TV, which swings around for me in bed when I'm at work, it's only when I'm at work I'd swing it around to there, as this all pulls out and sets up a double bed here for me and the missus. Boy sleeps up there, or sometimes I'm there, but now we've got the baby being there. Yeah, so I've got two batteries. I've just got the actual battery cases on order, so don't stress. They will be fitted in properly before we use the van. And this is how the ducting's running through here. Through this. This is like a double skim thing. I don't know why they built it like that, but it was. So it comes out the front, it comes out the front of the vehicle, comes out the back into the cab. So the whole van gets heated because we've got a curtain that runs all the way around the front, or we can run it across here, which we'll have to do that now because we've got heat in the front, because that is the coldest part of the van. That is the coldest part of the van, and it's an area we don't usually use because we didn't have the baby. This door is not insulated and it looks terrible, which I think's been changed in the past. I will sort that out when I get a chance. The rest of the van is good as gold. So what I'll do is I'll show you exactly what and how I run all the cables. So yeah guys, that's it. Okay, this is the outlet that I made. I've just got to go around the edges with a peanut grinder, which I haven't got at the moment. Yeah, so there's the wire to the fuel pump. It goes in the cable tie for some wiring that was already there. So it's nice and tight. It goes around the side of this chassis. The intake I've cable tied up there with the air filter. And the exhaust runs like that with the silver tape. Looks like gaffer tape on the camera, but it's actually silver shiny tape, so the exhaust is blowing out with the silencer. I've got mastic on both ends of the exhaust because the Jubilee clip wouldn't tighten up enough, so I've put the heat sealant inside and in the unit itself. So yeah, just a little finishing touch of the peanut grinder there. I run the fuel line along here, all tucked away. I'll show you the end in a moment. And you can see the rest of that mastic is what I've done to block the wire. This is the wire for the fuel pump. So I've squeezed a load of mastic in there to block it up. Like I say, once I've tidied all that up with a peanut grinder, it shouldn't fatigue and crack or anything. We should have no issues there. So the fuel pump wire comes along here. I've got a cable tie around there with a tiny, I don't know if you can see the cable tie. It's a cable tie to the cable tie. So it's nice and secure. It's cable tied to this. Then we've cable tied it to another, whatever this is up here, just to keep it all out of the way. The fuel pump, I've set it at 45 degrees, that's what they recommended in a photo that I found online. Through the eye there, and then through, as it goes, sorry one moment, underneath, you can see it goes through this junction. Any better than that? I have to move and take another shot. So it comes out of there, so it's completely clear of everything and it's all been secured. There we go. Okay, so the fuel line comes up here and then straight into the garage. Now, this is where I had a little problem with this. I've drilled through right in the corner of the wheel arch, which I'll show you in a minute, and I couldn't find the eye, which I believe it's gone in here. I've drilled holes in this cutout because it's already rotten. I've tried to grind it with a drill to try and round the edges off of that rotten part there. I couldn't get to the hole. I'm going to definitely tidy it up. There's no way I'm leaving that like that. It isn't perfect inside. It isn't how I'd want it to be, but it's done. Okay, you can see where I've drilled the first hole. That would have been perfect because I would have chased it up there and masticated it, covered it with mastic or a little bit of tubing or something and masticated around that. But it didn't work out. So what I've done, I tried to go measurements off of these screws, which are coming through the bottom of the van, and I don't know, for some reason I couldn't get it to match up. So I drilled a hole, which I believe now the screws are between something and something inside this wheel arch case. So anyway, I've drilled the hole through from the bottom. It would only have been a couple of inches over here. I would have got it the best anyway. And for the temporary, I've taped it in because I will chase this in behind at a later stage. And I fitted the tank high. Now, the reason why I fitted it high is because I run one of the bikes against this, pulled over, so I'm not putting any pressure on the forks. My hands all dirty now. And it sort of, the back wheel kicks over there, so this area is clear. It won't touch this tank at all. So now, if I've got a bike in, for instance, and I'm running low on diesel, for instance, I forget to fill it up, I can fill it up when the bike's running. I haven't got to drag or everything out because I carry the generator, basically all this stuff here and plus more. I'll give you a look from the as we look in the van here. So there you go. That's it. So we're fully, I'm fully plumbed in. I'm pretty happy with how it's turned out actually. It does look quite tidy, especially being my first time of doing this kind of thing. Now I'll show you how to set up. The setup is, before you turn it on, you need to prime the pump, which will be OK and the down arrow together. Then you want to turn this on. So you push up. That's on, that's the pump priming. You won't be able to hear it, but it's ticking because I've got the pump right under the motor. Obviously, I run the wire through the pump as I showed in the previous clip. So now that's pumping. Once it's pumped, which is I've already gone through this stage, so I'll turn it off. Now the pump's off. Then next thing is turn it on. You turn it on. Right, now that's the heater coming on. When you want to set the temperature, you need to go with the top button, the setting button, and the up button together. This is the temperature. I've set it at 22. Okay, so now if I want to know the temperature, I just go OK, and here's the temperature, the way it is at the moment. So I've already running. Now how I've got it plumbed in like this. Sorry about these sheets. I've got these because, as I said before, we do motocross, and the boy gets the motor in a complete state. So I've run the fuel line through the back, which I'll show you in a minute, which I'll show you after another clip, into and I've used a little tank which is in the garage, and it's out of the way of the way I set the bikes up because I can get two bikes in the back of that little garage, believe it or not. And all I've got is that meter, and again, sorry about the mess, this little flue here, because it come with a T-piece, and where I've got my baby, my 7-month-old baby, my daughter, she will sleep in the front, and sometimes my son likes to lay across the front here, which is totally opposite of the inside. This is blowing into the cab. Now there's two reasons why I've done this. Sorry. So as I lean over, as I lean through, this is an iveco Daily. It's down there, yeah. So there's another reason why I've done this, not only to heat up the front of the cab for when the baby's in here, it's to sometimes when I'm out with my son alone and the family's not with us and I'm spectating, sometimes I sit in the cab, then that's where I don't have to run the vehicle, so I can just turn on the heater and it will be warm in the cab when it's cold for me. What also come with this heater was this little fob, this little remote. Now this little bad boy here is absolutely great. You don't have to use any of them settings that I showed earlier. All you've got is off, on, off, and up and down on the temperature, and that is it. Now the only concern I had once I installed it, because obviously I've never done this before, is I've installed it there, but my bunk is there. And as, like I say, I use this for work. I use this for work. I use this like for work as well as motocross. Sorry, let me spit out. I can lay my bunk. The TV spins around, as I mentioned, and I can watch TV in bed. But I was worried that the remote won't work over there because now I'm behind the LCD. Now let me just show you something. Right, let's go to temperature. We're at 21 degrees. Right, we leave it at 21. You happy with that? Now we come over to the bunk, and I'll turn it. Just turn it up. The heater's on actually, but it's set a temperature. Right, so I've gone up, what I got, 3 or something there. Let's have a look now. You see it's at 28. Right, it's at 28. So I want to go, we'll go down to, the heater's starting to kick in now, starting to speed up. Don't know if you can hear that. Now we're going to go down to 28. We go down to say 22, so 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22. 21, 22. Okay, I've done a bit of research now. The LCD on these heaters doesn't turn off if you're direct to the battery. As I've showed you previously, I've got crocodile clips going to my battery. Now the reason for the crocodile clips, that I believe, is the people that owned this van before, whoever installed this TV, the TV wires go directly to the battery, which are on the crocodile clips. So obviously it's on standby over a couple of weeks or something, it'll drain my battery. I'm not sure if they run under the van or down the side here or something, but either way, that's the reason why I believe the crocodile clips are there. So now I'll be getting a piece of wire, extending a bit of wire from the TV and also from the red wire. I'll install it round the back of all the chairs, and I installed the wires, the main wire to this LCD, and then up the trunkings, if you can see the trunking there, so I can go underneath all this, up the trunking into the panel. So then once that's done, I should then be able to just turn off the LCD and everything by the mains, and I ain't got to use the crocodile clips no more. I can keep them direct, and I'll probably keep crocodile clips just for the spare little battery if I'm ever in doubt, and the job should be absolutely perfect. This is the first time you're making a video like this, first time you're doing anything like this. I've literally done it for you guys to learn some tips from it, as there's no instructions, so please try not to criticise. Please like and subscribe if you wish, it's up to you, and any question just ask. I hope you're the best with your installation.